Okay, so a very warm welcome to Marcus. Marcus is the founder of Time Waver and Healy. Definitely, we all over here on this call, we all know who he is. He doesn't need a lot of introduction. He is very famous for all the work that he has been doing. He is globally recognized as an international author. He has written many books translated in many different languages, as well as he is the head of the Institute of Consciousness Research and a very well known Vastu and Feng Shui expert as well. But more importantly, Marcus is a compassionate and a humble human being. I have had the privilege to know him from a very young age, and I know the kind of vision he has, the kind of a person and the soul and the positive intentions that he has of giving back to the world. So very warm welcome, Marcus, and I would say that you are the first of a kind spiritual entrepreneur that the world has ever seen.
Thank you, Jainam. This is very kind. I think there are many people and entrepreneurs like me who have a passion for helping people, not only on the material level, but also for the development of consciousness. And I think these different aspects really need to work together, like science and business and spirituality. It's so important to connect it. Yes, and I remember very well, it must have been so many years ago, maybe 7, 8, or even 10 years, that you visited us here in the castle with your family. And it was this round room where I am now, I think, where you even stayed.
Yes, this is on the top floor of the castle.
Yes, in the tower.
Yes, and as you rightly said, not 7, 8, but exactly 10 years back was the first time we visited in 2011.
Right.
Was the first time we visited. I was very young back then. But of course, with my family, we were there, and long journey for us to be having been associated with you, your family, and the entire Time Waver and Healy family as well.
Yes, it's one big family now, expanding all over the world.
In 45 plus countries now, yeah?
Right.
Yes. So Marcus, I would just now go to, asking you some questions, because we have a lot of our, frequency and information field and consciousness science enthusiasts on the call. And, usually it's afternoon time in India, but people have taken out the special time because they want to listen to you. They want to know from you a lot of things. So I will quickly go on to, asking you this, that the first and the most fundamental thing is that what was your motivation, or what attracted you towards physics and spirituality from the very young age?
I think it's the same intention or original motivation behind my passion for science on the one side and spirituality on the other side. It's two different ways how we can look for truth, how we can experience truth and gather knowledge. Science, especially physics, is looking for the explicit knowledge through our senses, through devices, through objectivation of experimental setups, whereas spirituality is looking for the inner experience, for the subjective, which cannot be objectivated, which is my very personal, intimate relationship to the supreme, to the whole, to the universe. So I believe these two things, science and spirituality, they belong together, because this is we as a human beings, we have these two sides. We are able to explore the world, and nowadays through technology, we can change the world very deeply. But what is our deepest motivation? What is the source from which we are acting? Science doesn't answer these questions. These questions we can only answer as a human being from the deepest, from the deepest heart, from the deepest source within, and that's spirituality.
Correct. Very well said, Marcus. And so, from what age in your early childhood, from what age did you start this journey towards, finding the deeper correlations between, these two aspects?
I believe it's around 16 years old. The time I still went to school, but my teachers, they saw my special interest and they supplied me with I had very good teachers in physics and mathematics, and very early they supplied me with books which were from university level and which opened my vision also beyond science towards philosophy. So then when I was 18, I started to study physics, first in Hanover, then in Heidelberg, and I complemented it with philosophy because physics itself can only explain what is happening, but the deeper, the why and the implicate, I was looking through in philosophy. But philosophy ultimately also didn't give me the answers. It was even raising more questions. Therefore, when I was around 21, I decided to go a very consequent spiritual way. And this is also the time when I first started to travel to India.
So, you came to India at what age?
My first visit to India was when I was 21.
21, wow. But since you were in Germany and everything, so what inclined you that you should be coming to India as a specific place for, future knowledge and exploring?
I mean, there's a very deep connection, old connection between Germany and India. There had been a lot of translation done of ancient Sanskrit texts into German language in a very early. Even Johann Wolfgang von Goethe, one of the most important writers from German history, he studied Bhagavad Gita and he was very fascinated by India. That's a long tradition in Germany to be not only fascinated, but to look for the deeper wisdom of India and study mostly translations of ancient Sanskrit texts. So I believe there is a deep cultural and spiritual connection between our two countries.
Great. And you were 21 years, young, and you came to India. So, what places did you travel to India? What was your lifestyle like in India? If you could, because for all our members here, it's of great interest to know, what you did in India.
Yes, my first travel to India was I landed I had a direct flight from Frankfurt to Calcutta, and from Calcutta then I think I took a train to Navadvip and I went to Mayapur in West Bengal, where I joined a monastery and I lived there for quite a good time, and I had my first deeper spiritual experiences in this like rural environment. At that time, this place was not very much developed. There were not so many monks yet. It was not so international as it is nowadays. But yeah, and this is what especially was what I liked. I liked this rural environment of people who didn't have this that time, more than 30 years ago, the material facilities or technology which we are using, but people seem to be happy. There were in this area, there were Hindus and Muslims living very close to each other in the same village. And I really enjoyed almost being part of this this kind of life. It was so much different from everything which I knew, coming as a city boy from Germany and working with computers and science and all this stuff, and then getting into this kind of beautiful environment every day, swimming in the Ganges, and I enjoyed this time very much. And of course, I got a lot of training in Sanskrit texts and meditation. So many of the things are with me until today.
Wow, that's great. And then further from Mayapur, like which other Indian cities did you travel to, or which Indian other places did you explore?
To be honest, in the beginning, I didn't like to travel a lot because that time traveling in India wasn't really a great pleasure. And, you know, as a very poor monk, I couldn't take the Rajdhani Express or something. So going second or whatever class, third class, you know how traveling in India is nowadays, but it must have been very much different 30 years ago in a rural area. So I kept staying there a lot, and later then I went to Mathura, and later then I started to travel more in the north towards Haridwar, Rishikesh, and especially in the recent years, I like to travel up the Ganges. I went up to Badrinath and stayed there for some time. And I like to stay between Haridwar and Rishikesh because there's a campus of a very, very, very beautiful and amazing university, which I became a part of. I just in February this year, again, became an adjunct professor at the Dev Sanskriti University there in Haridwar. And so since a few years, then I traveled more towards the north.
That's great. That is fantastic. And what are some of your experiences from your, stay in India that you would like to share with us? Some of your, good experiences, funny experiences, something you would like to tell us?
Oh, that's a long time ago. I mean, for me, it was really entering a completely different world, leaving everything behind, and just emerging into the spiritual India. Everything seemed to be mystical, even the exchange with the monkeys and with the dogs on the street. Everything was so much more connected to life and to nature than what I experienced before in Germany. And it were especially the people who I met who impressed me very, very deeply. Very, very deep encounters of meeting people, very, very simple people who probably have never left their village, and I even couldn't speak English with them, but they just shared something which I sensed to be very, I would say, implicate in the Indian soul, which is, of course, being engaged with day-to-day activities, being a teacher at school or cooking, but simultaneously having an inner, a very deep inner absorption and inner satisfaction. I don't know how it is nowadays in India, but that time I sensed it a lot, and I very much enjoyed to have the opportunity to associate with these people. I could tell you crazy stories from my experience in India, especially traveling, and but I like to more remember this beautiful moments of meeting people who were not recognized as big spiritual people, but just normal people living their life very responsibly, and just you could sense that deep spirituality.
Correct. I think it's still the same, Marcus. Like if you still come here, it's still the same by heart. People are still very simple, trying to as you said, living their life responsibly. I think, but now we are just more better equipped with technology and infrastructure. What was maybe missing back then,
Right.
So
But
yes.
that's a big challenge. I see it here in Germany. I see it in Europe and with my children, being equipped with this technology. I also have one. I put a mandala,
Okay.
but for me it's not a problem. But I see that the next generation is very much controlled by the information through smartphones, through social medias, and they are trained to be consumers, to consume information and all kind of excitement coming through these medias. And there is a very, very big chance that this generation misses the real life.
Yes. That's true. And with that, like, I would also like to ask you a very, very fun question, because I know that you really like this. So, in many of my visits and my family's visits to Germany, maybe Berlin, maybe Frankfurt, we always make sure that, we go out for an Indian meal with you. And you, in particular, do really cherish and love Indian dishes. So, what are some of your favorite Indian dishes that you like?
Thank you for this question. Yes, I I like I like the whole Indian vegetarian kitchen, because I think I was almost a vegetarian already when I was a young kid, because whenever my family was a normal German family offering meat, but whenever I saw the meat, I thought, oh, this was an animal before, and probably before being a steak, it was a living entity. So what happened in between? Who did this to the poor animals? So it was difficult for me to eat meat. And then when I was 18, coming to university, I met people who were vegetarian. I immediately understood, oh yes, this is what I'm supposed to be. I don't have to eat meat, and I discovered the variety of vegetarian kitchen. And that's the beauty about Indian kitchen, that it has, since hundreds or thousands of years, it has such a strong focus on vegetables, and there are so many different beautiful vegetables and fruits in India, and grains, and so many sophisticated preparations. So what do I like the most? No, I would say it's gulab jamun. I love the sweet. I don't know if I pronounce it properly. Gulab
Yeah,
jamun. Yeah,
gulab jamun,
the
yes.
small sweet balls which are just dropping from sugar, and I like them very much. Nowadays, I really don't touch sugar so much. But if you would offer me like a plate with 8 gulab jamuns, I would eat them all immediately. But of course, that's not the main dish. But what normally, if I come to an Indian restaurant, or if our cookie in the castle, he asks, "What do you like today?" I will say palak paneer. I like very much palak paneer, having spinach and shak, yeah, together with paneer. Normally, I take it vegan now, because um, I think this, what is happening in the industrial slaughterhouses all around the planet with our animals, and especially the environmental consequences of keeping these billions of cows and pigs, hogs all over the planet. It's creating a major part of the destruction of environment. The rainforest in the Amazonas, they cut it down, they burn it to plant soy, which then is fed to the animals. So I almost practically became a vegan, and but one can replace the paneer with tofu. It's also very delicious. What do I like? I like very much preparations from okra, like bindi masala. This is one of my favorites. So normally uh, normally I would order bindi masala and palak paneer, and maybe little taka dal.
I remember, I think we were in Berlin or Frankfurt. I don't remember, in 2016 conference, and I think we went for lunch and dinner, sorry, and you had ordered exactly palak paneer and dal tadka to eat with your meal.
Yes, yes, and we were eating this. How's it called? Idli.
Italy, yes, that's
Idli.
a South Indian
South
dish.
Indian dish. Yes, yes. This I enjoy very much in all different variations.
That's great. All right. Coming to a little bit on the other side of it. Marcus, that you did, you stayed in India. You have upgraded yourself with the Indian Vedas, the scriptures, and a lot of study that you did over here with your knowledge of physics and philosophy and your studies. So, what part of your Indian journey, what part of your Indian studies played a role in making of Time Waver, and then of course with Healy as well?
Studying Sankhya philosophy, which is basically very analytic part of the Vedic knowledge about how nature, and not only nature but also the mind and the spiritual, how they are composed and how do they interact. This was very fascinating for me as a physicist, and I always try to see the connection of the elements as they are described in Sankhya philosophy, and especially there is one central element which is called Akash. Akash is in between the four elements which are going towards matter and the four elements of our subtle, our conscious reality. So it's a missing link between the mind and matter. And Akash is already very close to my concept of the information field. It's basically the entanglement of mind and matter on the basis of consciousness. And this by nature is pure information. And in Sankhya, then Akash is related to Shabda, which is vibration or frequency. And there's a lot of spiritual practice using sound, using mantra, like the Omkara. So I got a very deep insight into the theory, the philosophy, but also into the practice, my own experience of, you can say, my own inner information field, which is really you can say the quantum entanglement of body, mind, and soul. This is like who we really are. So I think it's a connection of my experiences, my personal spiritual experiences, and then studying analytically like Sankhya, like Yoga Sutras, Patanjali. This is very important, and having a basis of understanding science in a different way.
Okay, great. And so what like in your day-to-day routine, now any practices or any learnings from your Indian journey that you still follow or you still practice?
Yes, I keep practicing my meditation. And what is most important is that the spiritual experiences you once make, they never leave you. They're not really fading away, especially if you keep remembering them and you live by the values, the spiritual values, and you practice through meditation. And I'm still enjoying to read ancient texts of wisdoms like the Yoga Sutras, like the Bhagavad Gita and other texts. So this is something just still part of my life. Still, my cultural home is Europe, so I like European music, classical music, and especially our cultural development here with Renaissance and going through the Age of Enlightenment and all the philosophy and so on. But I would say, like, I try to integrate the essence of these two cultures in my life.
That's very beautiful. I think with so many times when we are seeing you on the Frequency Fridays or some other videos, the room that you sit in, the frames, the thing around you, it truly does tell us the blend of the Indian and the European culture that you practice in your life day to day.
I also have here, for example, another picture, which is very classical European type. It's the Emperor of Prussia, Frederick the Great, who is playing, I think the light is not very good. He's playing his own flute concert. So it's a really like amalgam of different cultures here. And this is what I believe is what we need. We need to collect the beauty and the wisdom and the spirituality from all over the planet, because each part of this planet developed a different kind of spirituality. After for many years going to India, I started 2015 traveling also to China and to Taiwan, and had a lot of experience of the spiritual culture there, and I saw the similarities. And so one aspect of something which I really like to do is not only integrating science and spirituality like transdisciplinary, but also transculturally, because yeah, we are growing towards one humanity, one life on this planet. We are sharing this one great responsibility, and each culture can contribute, because nowadays everything is becoming one. You know, this modern civilization and technology and business and capitalism, it's conquering the last villages in the world. So it's very important to build a global culture which also preserves the spiritual identity of people.
That just truly tells me that, it's not just globalization in terms of business, but it's globalization in, opening up to each other's cultures, understanding and adapting that. So that's something truly amazingly that you are doing. And coming to Healy now, Healy 1.0 has been a huge success from its launch in January 2019. Trisha and I had the privilege of being there for the European launch as well, and that time we were just select few people from different places, and now that Healy is huge all across the world. And I remember that in December 2019, when we launched the India market also, we were just a bunch of people, and it has been a phenomenal success throughout. People have outstanding use of this technology, very new, but very helpful to people. So now that Healy 2.0 is coming in, can you tell us what is happening behind the scenes? How is it like? What's it like from your perspective, and what's happening, like, things that we don't really even know about?
The very good thing is that Healy 1.0 grew so quickly and so internationally, globally, that we are having a management, also a global management here from Germany, but then also locally, like in Asia, in United States, and also in India now, strong management, that I don't even have to look behind the scenes anymore. I see myself personally having a very important responsibility about the culture, about the values, about the science and spirituality behind. Because Healy is not just any product, it's an expression of a very deep intention to bring people together, to connect people, but to connect the individual to the source, to the source which connects everyone. I believe this will be my personal. I want this to be my personal contribution to humanity, and I see all these Healy members and those people who use Healy. They help me to fulfill this my very life mission. So I'm so thankful for it, and I'm the last months very much focusing on research. On scientific research, which for me always is connected to spirituality, and also to help developing a culture which shall be different from the normal business culture, especially from the normal network culture. So there are so many external aspects of it, which sometimes are exaggerated. And the good thing about Healy is, whenever you give Healy to someone, is not just that you make a good business. That might happen, but the most thing is that you really help people changing their life and become the best version of themselves which they can be. So I know, of course, I'm aware about the big transition which is right now happening, and this is normal. If a global company is scaling, that's a big challenge. Scaling means you come from 100 to 1,000 to 10,000 to 100,000 to 1 million members and Healys. So each step is like a little bird. So I'm very much aware about what is going on, and I have the strong confidence because I know the people who are working in the background on this, how serious they are, how dedicated they are, how convinced they are about that they're doing something good, and how qualified they are. And I'm aware about that we are in a period of change. And I don't have to tell you details about this changes going on so many different levels. What I am very, very passionate about it, and this is also something happening in the background, is the development of the Healy Academy. This will be one of the most important things, because the academy, like schools, like universities, they are places of culture. This is the places where we explain how frequencies work, what is the information field, the importance of consciousness, and how to use the Healy, and how to integrate it into one's life, and what to tell about it. So this is a really passion which I want to contribute to. So yes, Healy 2.0 is necessary, because the network is growing, and so all our systems, they are scaling towards a global level, and it's always connected with some difficulties, like we have seen in the Indian market, and some delays and so on. But I know how much effort and how much competence and how much good management is behind. So I believe this will turn out very, very well.
Very well said, Marcus. And especially when people also, I interact with people, I say that there are three things over here that we should look at. One is, whenever we look at a company, one is we have to look at the founders of the company, and you and Christian Harper, you are the perfect set of founders anyone can have. Second, you have to look at the management of the company, and we have a very, very strong management, as you said, from Germany till the local levels also. And then third, we have to see the product, and our product is truly, truly revolutionary. It is a game changer. It is a category creator. And I would say that it is, as you said, that, it helps you become the best version of yourself. It helps you upgrade in all aspects of your life. And it's a truly holistic product that we have over here. And, we are, of course, seeing the amazing things that, happen to people when they use it. So a very big thank you to you, Marcus, for getting this, frequencies, information field, and everything in all our lives. And now I would go to the next question that, in India, we are now just going to be launching the Healy watch. Previously, of course, it was there in the other parts of the world, but in India, we are just launching it now. So can you tell us, something about the Healy watch? How is it different from other wearables?
The most important aspect of the Healy watch, and this is what we were looking at the time of development, is that we have a very precise as possible measurement of the heartbeat, because the heart is in the center of our body. Yes. Center in sense of, in the Indian tradition, it's connected to the fourth of 7 chakras. So here's 4, means there are 3 chakras below and there's 3 chakras above. And chakras is actually a very ancient, but it's a very scientific terminology, because it corresponds almost 1-to-1 to the psycho-neuro-endocrino-immunological system, which connects the different, like epiphyses, hypophyses, the thyroid gland, the thymus gland, and then with the solar plexus solaris, the different levels of the autonomous nervous system. And that's an amazing concept. So the center of the whole system, where the upper and the lower chakras are integrated, is the heart. And the heart has its own endocrine system, and it has its own nervous system. And it reacts very sensitively on everything from above and everything from below. So it's integrating into the one life force. And all these influences you can analyze from the heartbeat, from the beat-to-beat intervals. So we are looking very deeply into this. And if you look in the heartbeat, it's not just one frequency like the pulse, like 75 beats per minute or something, but it's changing from beat to beat. If it wouldn't be changing, we would be like a clock. We would be a robot. We would not be able to live. Life is order in connection with flexibility. So it's order and creativity, and you see it in the heartbeat. There's such a beautiful variability. So the heart rate variability, this is a scientific term, relates to measure the coherence of the heartbeat, where it is placed between the order and disorder. And we can also analyze the different frequencies which contribute to the one frequency of our heartbeat. Actually, the heart is the strongest frequency signal in our body. It's 200 to 1,000 times stronger than the electrical and electromagnetic brain waves. So the heart is really dominant. And this is what we have specialized on, looking at different parameters which we get from a frequency spectrum analysis of the heartbeat, and also from different other statistical analysis. And we are developing a coach system based on this type of measurements. And the most important thing is that from this measurements, we get 6 parameters and later 14 different parameters from mathematical analysis, which we translate through all our experience into specific choice of Healy programs, which you can apply if you're in a certain bioenergetic situation, which you can see by analyzing the heartbeat. So the direct connection, not only getting a deep insight into the balance of your system, but then getting the recommendation what today, right now, is a good Healy program for me. This is absolutely unique. So it's the Healy Watch goes very well together with the Healy. And in the center, there is the Healy Advisor app, which is kind of a coach. And we are expanding it with our international research team more and more into a life coach.
Fantastic. I think, it's truly empowering a person with health in your own hands. If you have your Healy watch, you have your Healy, and, you can feel the next level of wellness, the next level of balance by yourself anytime. Because
nowadays, there are so many different smartwatches around and fitness trackers, and they are all good. They analyze your sleep quality. We have this also, they analyze how many steps and calories, and they measure your heartbeat and so on. But we are focusing really on very deep analysis of the heart rate variability related to fitness and wellness and stress and balance levels in the body. And this is really getting very close to one of the most fundamental terminology which I like to use, which is coherence. Coherence really is a sense of being one organism, of having body, mind, and soul, being connected, of being in balance in terms of being an individual and simultaneously being open, very open to everything which happens, but not too open. So this coherent mode where we can fully participate in life. This is what we want to bring to the people. And there's a Healy watch, which is supposed to analyze it. And there's a Healy, which is supposed to promote it to frequencies.
Absolutely. So I have, in India, it's not yet launched, but I have had the Healy watch after the 2019 Barcelona event, and I have been using it. I have been showing it to my team members as well, and we just can't wait to have it, officially launched so that everyone can enjoy the benefits of it and use it, as you said, in combination with the Healy, and empower themselves and truly have health in their own hands,
Yes, because we all want to be in a mode where we can be very active in life and follow our goals and achieve the good things which we want, and develop our talents and give them to others. We want to live a very active life, but not on the cost of our balance and our bioenergetic stability. And this is really, and you can say, a narrow path which we have to go in life. And I believe that the Healy watch is a very, very good companion to help you to see where you are between too much using your energy, getting too much outwards, And on the other side, maybe just closing yourself and keeping your energy together and regeneration. So it's all about this balance.
Yes. And Marcus, we have, something very interesting that is also coming up, which is the Berlin 2022
Oh, yes.
event. And, I have been sharing with my team members that I was there at the last Healy event, which was in Barcelona. Of course, after that 1.5 year, 2 years, we haven't been able to do the events because of the restrictions and everything. But it was Barcelona 2019 was truly a magnificent event. And Healy truly made sure that each and every person who qualified or who was there got a very, very good experience out of the entire trip. So what can we expect from the Berlin 2022 for all the qualifiers, all the members?
I'm looking so much forward to it, because it's, again, finally the opportunity to meet so many people, which I got to know on my journeys in the last, especially in the first year of Healy. And this coming together is creating an amazing energy, because we are not just coming together physically, but if people who are connected, and we are all connected by Healy and by our spirit, our vision coming together, it creates such a strong field. We will go home and we will be changed. We will be not the same anymore. It's an experience which you can't generate it so easily by a Zoom call. So that's something which is always happening magically on our Time of our World, on our now Healy World events. And I'm missing them so much, and therefore I'm so much looking toward to this Berlin Healy World. Yes, of course, there will be amazing new things also discovered, but they are obviously meant as a surprise, because we are constantly working in the back. We have an amazing research team, and we have an amazing product development team, and they were both working together, and they have worked hard for the last few years. And on this Berlin event, we will present a very amazing new generation of products also. So, but that's a surprise. I have actually already have told much too much, and but you know what it means. So I would like to see so many of you, also of you participating here, to come to Berlin. There will for sure be some promotions so that it's easier to come there, but this is not my business. This is up to the management.
All right. So that's what,
it's not far away from here. We are not living in Berlin. The castle is maybe 45 minutes from Berlin.
Yes, it's you are in Kranzlin, European. And yes, so but yes, I think a lot of people are going to be very, very excited for all the surprises that the entire team has for us, but also for people to meet you personally, because people always want to hear from you, listen to you, and definitely they are very, very eager to meet you as well. So that is something that we all look forward to. And coming to Berlin with as many people, as many members from India, and truly, experiencing everything that's there in store for us. And Marcus, we have a few questions from our members here. We have selected a few questions for you to answer. So can I go ahead with that?
Yes, please.
Yes. So one member, Mr. Gunaranjan, he has asked that, can we use our brain more with the Healy? What it means is we are usually using our brain maybe 4% of the average, normal brain using capacity generally. And a few people in the world, scientists, researchers, are found to be using it more. This person also says that he thinks that you are using your brain more than around 13 to 15%. So is there any possibility that people can enhance their brain usage capacity?
Good questions. Actually, I'm trying to use my brain less because sometimes it's very exhausting. I used my brain a lot in my life, even when I was young. I was became almost a professional chess player, and I was on international tournaments. Once I played against 20 people simultaneously blind without seeing the boards. And that time I really experienced to overuse the brain a lot. But yes, of course, what I want to say about it, it's not only the brain, but our brain as a physical organ. Of course, it's very important, and but the conscious activities, creative processes, they're not just happening in the material brain, but the brain is constantly in communication with an immaterial copy of the brain, which I call the information field. It's kind of a condensed state in the quantum vacuum, as some scientists would say. So there's almost like a double of the brain. And whenever we think, whenever we are creative, whenever we are conscious, it's a communication between the information field behind the brain and the brain. So very important are two things. We need to support the communication between the immaterial and the material. And on this, the interface between two is connected to frequencies. And this is why I believe that with frequencies, we can support the communication between the immaterial and the material version of ourselves if we create coherence. If we create coherence, communication happens. And that's really very important. The second aspect of it is our brain, like our body, is based on water. And water consists of quantum dipoles, electrical quantum dipoles. And they can cluster, they can create shapes like small coherent domains, but also microscopic, bigger coherent domains. So the quality of the water which we are drinking is very important. Not only that we drink enough water, but we drink clear water, and natural water would be the best, which has a good microcluster structure. So water, and this I stressed very much in the last lectures, is something like the material form of the information field, especially connecting our brain to the immaterial mind. So that's something very important. And I believe this is the place where holistically frequencies have the biggest effect to connect these two sides of us. And according to the research of Professor Vitiello and Professor Freeman and Umezawa, both of them died, but Professor Vitiello is still alive. We invited him for a 3-day seminar, which we will also announce, where he will talk about this decades of research on the communication between the immaterial information field and the material brain and the importance of coherent frequencies. This is so amazing, and the importance of water in our body. So this is very, very, very encouraging that with frequencies we can do so much in this regard.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I hope, Mr. Gunaranjan, you have the answer to your question. And another question, Marcus, we have from Ms. Deepa Devi is that how do you see the health and wellness industry in India and the impact of Healy as a revolutionary device in the health sector in India and globally as well?
I'm not specifically familiar with the Indian market on health and wellness, but I believe that Healy speaks a very, very universal language. It's a language of frequencies, which our cells might understand, which connects the information field to the materials. So it's very much a universal concept which we offer. And I believe because we are distributing Healy through a network, it's all about a person having his own experience with Healy and sharing it with others. So I think this will just convince the people on a personal level that complementary to all the health industry which is there, which might be very good, sometimes exaggerating the medications, sometimes having side effects, that Healy is very, very complementary to create a holistic understanding of life and health. So it's not that we are anyhow opposing any good medical technology or any good medical treatment. I believe there's a great developments going on, but what we have to offer to connect to frequencies, to the information field, this is so unique, it's so different, it's so complementary, that it will go well together with all kind of good versions of medicine, like traditional Ayurvedic medicine and good Orthodox medicine and homeopathy. It just goes well together with everything. And I think that's the most important message.
Absolutely. All right. So I hope, Deepaji, you also have the question to answer. And Marcus, one more question is, for the resonance healing, should the client user be in a particular state of mind, or should be aware that this is happening? Or does the healing work even if the client user is not in the proper state of mind or doesn't know that the healing is happening?
I mean, whatever state of mind you are in, you can use healing. Because many things happen unconsciously.
Correct.
But of course, the more you participate consciously, and the more you give it time and space, you might experience a different result. For example, you can do things. You can have Healy with your electrodes at your wrists and use a program and simultaneously write on the computer some emails. You can do it. Yes, why not? But the other option is you take half an hour off, put some nice music, drink before 1 or 2 glasses of pure water, and just connect. Just be for yourself and be mindful. Be mindful for what happens in your body, what happens emotionally. Be mindful for your thoughts, how they are coming and passing. It can be almost like modern type of meditation. And you might feel a different effect of the frequencies because you're more mindful. I think mindfulness is a modern form of enlightenment. It's something which we can practice, and we need to practice it in this crazy world out there. Sometimes it's too crazy, it's too many stimuli, it's too much information. So take this time for yourself. Put some good music, drink some good water, and focus on your inner experience. Focus on your body, what your body wants to tell you, and then experience the frequencies. I think that's the best thing. If you do this once a day, it will make such a difference. And important, we are not breathing deeply and consciously enough. Breath is our connection to the universe. Remember, in yoga, one of the bases is not only asana, but it's pranayama. Prana, life energy, and breath is connected. So breathing in and breathing out, we connect to the universe, and we are absorbing energy. We are absorbing life energy. So pure water, breathing, and mindfulness about your body, your emotions, and your thoughts, and take time for yourself. Stopping, if it's just 20 minutes, stop for yourself while doing a frequency program. This will be very, very beneficial.
Correct. Absolutely. And we have one last question for you, Marcus. I think this is a little repetitive, but would like to know how India has helped in developing Healy and its programs. and what are the inputs, how it helped in creating and evolving Healy?
India helped shaping my own personality and my own spirituality and my own approach to life. So I can't separate this from my intention to develop Healy. So I believe it was so important for me to go to this very deep experiences in India and keeping this connection until now. It's just a part of me. And if I would have created Healy without, it would probably be different. It might not have had this depth as it has now. So I can't separate it. It's one of the sources from which Time Waver and Healy is created.
Okay, great. And yes, the one question that everyone has been waiting, and we have asked our members, and we got a lot of questions. We filter out the questions from that, and the one question that we got the most is that, Marcus, when do we see you in India?
Actually, I'm so much looking forward to come back to India. And I have so many plans also what I would like to do there, because I like to visit you. I like to see our members. I like to visit again some spiritual places which are very dear to my heart. And I also would like to visit my university again, for which I'm now just working remotely, organizing webinars and courses and certificate courses and engaging in research. So there's so much on my agenda to visit India. So you tell me whenever it is safe and easy to come and travel, I will come, but probably it won't fit in this year anymore. But maybe let's plan ahead for early spring next year.
Definitely, because I remember that, last time in 2019 there were a few times that we did plan to have you here,
Yes.
but the traveling schedule and everything, and our dates somehow got postponed, and then you couldn't come. So definitely you
Right.
have to aim and be here to meet your Healy family, your Time Waver family, and meet people over here.
Yes, and I believe in this few months ahead of us in India, our team there, you will do such a wonderful work to get things established and going smoothly. And then it's much more effective also if I come, if things are more settled.
Certainly,
So
certainly.
I trust all of you very much, and I have a very great hope that we can help people in India on a very, very large scale. It's people must be so receptive for what we are doing, because it's so much connected to the spirit of India, independent of religion or language or culture. It's something which can help everyone.
Yes, absolutely. You said that very well, that it's independent of any caste, background, or anything. It's a product everyone can use. And Marcus, with this, we come to the end of this session. It's been really absolutely amazing to have you speak to me, and of course for our members to listen to you live as well. Any special message that you have for this group that has assembled here? These are all frequency lovers. These are all information field fans now, and they look forward to really spreading this across to the masses.
Yes, I already just said I trust you. So you are the people who, you are the human beings who represent Healy to India now. This is just the beginning, a few hundred, so that's beautiful. So each of you can make such an amazing difference. Each of you will meet tens, maybe hundreds of people who can in this way get to know Healy, and the impression which you give to them, the way how you approach to them, how you actually want to help and benefit them with this gift which we have in our hand. This makes all the difference. We are creating the culture. It's up to us how we are perceived by the people. We don't want to be perceived just as another business, someone who says we have the best product. This is not what we are. So this is, but yeah, this is what I would like to give you for the next month. So it so much depends on you to live our values, our common values. And if you are connected, you can connect the people. So I trust you very much. And I believe when I'm coming to India, there will be thousands and 10,000s of people already using Healy and being connected. And yes, I'm so much looking forward to this and meeting all of you. But thank you already so much for what you have done for Healy in India.
Thank you so much, Marcus. It was a beautiful time, speaking to you. I'm really, really happy that you could take out time and, address us. And definitely, we look forward for Healy 2.0. We look forward to first meeting you in Berlin in 2022. And we look forward for all the amazing things that you and the team have in store for all of us. And it is truly amazing also to know that, how India has played a part in your life in Healy, in Time Waver, and that we are all connected somewhere through that. So thank you so much, and we take back a lot of good information, a lot of positive things that you just shared with us, and we look forward to Healy 2.0, and we look forward to meeting you and interacting with you again.
Thank you, Jainam, so much for all your work and your endeavor. And again, happy to meet you all and hope to see you very soon again. All the best.
Thank you so much, Marcus. Goodbye. Take care.
Goodbye.
So thank you to all the members, all our Healy partners who have taken out time and who've come on this